Consider the plush toy, a popular holiday gift idea. It's manufactured along with countless others in every popular make and model. It's put in a box and locked in a warehouse. It gets no special attention, doesn't see the light of day, until a time comes when it's shipped to a retail store and put on display. Shoppers give it some special attention, and maybe one day it's taken off the shelf and taken home as a gift for the holidays. Everyone takes their cut, and the unsold stock that never left the warehouse, never got special attention, never saw the light of day, and was never taken home, is cleared out to make room for a new generation in every popular make and model.
What you just saw is a video created by the ASPCA on puppy mills. The exact same things can be said for ferrets and other animals that are bred in these horrific places. But today our focus is on a more silent evil, and that is backyard breeders, disreputable breeders, tight-lipped operations all over the world. The majority of ferrets in the United States, Canada, and Japan come from disgusting animal mills. Many animal mills that produce ferrets also create them for animal testing. The lucky ones end up in pet shops, and the unlucky ones are destined to a life of misery, pain, and just absolute misfortune. When you purchase a pet store ferret, you are both supporting the cruel and unethical treatment, raising, and maintenance of ferrets in animal mills along with animal testing.
The puppy we sell here is a healthier puppy than if I'd have Lassie out here running around. She'd run over here, feed her puppies over here. The way we raise them, they are much healthier than they would be the other way.
Then we ask him to show us the rest, where the public is not allowed. It is a warehouse with more than 200 breeding dogs and their puppies lined up in cage after cage. He considers his facility state-of-the-art.
Many people, when learning this fact, will turn to private breeders to get their ferrets from. But this does come with its own risks and can be very dangerous if you don't know what to watch out for. And you may be saying, well, I'm not supporting an animal mill, so how bad can this backyard breeder be? And you may not be supporting an animal mill or animal testing, but you are still supporting cruel, unethical treatment of ferrets, overbreeding of ferrets, and it's not really any better than getting an animal from a pet store.
Where do they go to the bathroom? They just go here?
They go here.
Can two people take care of 200 dogs?
The way we have the building set up, the modern way, if we have to go back, if new legislation goes into effect, we will not be able to care for this many dogs because it's just going to be so much more labor intense.
First things first, how do you go about deciding that a breeder is reputable or disreputable? Thanks to my friend Kenya, also known as Friendly Neighborhood Ferrets, she created a chart that has both good characteristics that you want in a ferret breeder and then the bad. Let's take a look at the left-hand side of this list. First, these are attributes and characteristics that you would find in a good ferret breeder. The first one is that these breeders breed for the love of ferrets. They do it because they love the animal, they want to see healthier ferrets in the world, and they want to make a difference. These breeders also screen for genetic defects to ensure nothing gets passed down to the kits. They will have a smaller number of kits and ferrets, and they will not sell to third parties, so they will directly sell to the buyer. Ferrets must be returned to that breeder if the owner cannot keep them for whatever reason. This is why many people say that reputable breeders are not the ones responsible for overpopulation of animals in shelters, because most reputable breeders will have a contract that states you have to bring that animal back to the breeder. You cannot bring it to a shelter or rehome it to someone else. These ferrets live in the home, not in a facility or in a separate property. This is obviously very common for reputable breeders because they don't have a ridiculous amount of ferrets around. They have enough to where that they can keep them in their own home. Each mother will usually only have one, maybe two, rarely, litters a year. So there's really no need for a huge space. Another massive indicator that this breeder is good is that they will allow you to visit both the parent ferrets, the kits, the siblings. They will show you pictures of other litters. It is so important for you to see where your kit is growing up, how they are being raised, what they are being fed, and so on. Reputable breeders also do not sell kits under 8 weeks old. This is another big one. You may see some breeders do 8 to 9 weeks, but many of them actually push for older, between 10 to 12 weeks of age. It really depends on that litter. If you see someone selling kits under 8 weeks old, stay far away. Good breeders will also have paper records and health records proving good health in the kits and the parent ferrets as well, along with the family lineage of both of those parent ferrets. A detailed screening process for potential owners is also a huge thing. They should be having you fill out adoption applications. You might need to be put on a wait list. This whole process should take a while. They should really make the effort to get to know you, to maybe they visit your home to see what it's like, or they're asking you questions about what are you going to feed the ferrets? Have you ever had experience with ferrets? Many breeders are known for being super strict. All of this is required in order to ensure a good placement is made by that breeder. Good breeders do not descent ferrets. I do plan on making a video on decenting ferrets in the future, but for now, we do have a post on the Ferret Freedom Fighters Instagram page if you are interested in learning more about this procedure. But basically, it is unnecessary, can cause complications down the line. It's just not needed to make your ferrets smell good at all. So good breeders understand this, and they will not have this procedure done on their ferrets. Kits will have been vetted fully before you get them. Good breeders do not sell out sick kits. It is very bad for their reputation. They want to ensure that all kits come with a clean bill of health. They will have spay and neuter requirements. Most of the time when you go to a good breeder, you will get an intact male or female ferret, because neutering and spaying much too early, which is around the time that they would have the ferrets still, is very detrimental to their health. So you will most likely get an intact kit, and that way you can either alter them when your veterinarian thinks that it is a good time to and you have waited long enough, or chemical castration, whatever you choose to do. Breeders will also have a contract with you, and usually they will have a set of rules that they want you to follow. I also wanted to add, if in America, the breeder should be in good standing with the American Ferret Association. The breeder should be feeding a good diet. Diet is the foundation for healthy animals, as we know, and it is so crucial in their growing and developing time period of their life that they are getting adequate nutrition. If they are not, they will have deficiencies and complications down the line. So it's really important that that breeder is feeding a good food, whether it be raw diets, which most breeders actually do feed, or at the very least a high quality dry food. Now on to the bad ferret breeders. I don't even want to call them breeders. I think that they align most with animal producers. I don't like to put bad breeders and good breeders even in the same playing field, because they are just not. So I'm going to be referring to them as producers as well for the duration of this video. These people are breeding only for profit, and to tell if they are doing this, they are breeding kits all year round like animal mills, or they are producing a massive amount of kits, and it may seem like they are pumping out animals like it's their job, because it is. If you're breeding with good intentions, you're not going to make any profit really at all, but that's okay, because breeders, they don't really want to do it for the money. They do it to improve the lives of ferrets and to improve ferret lines. Does not screen for genetic defects because they don't care. They simply have way too many animals that it would be impossible and very time consuming and very expensive to get a health screening done on every single ferret that they breed and all the kits that are produced. To go along with that, they have a large number of ferrets because they are trying to do this for profit. So the only way to do this is if you have a huge number of ferrets. Some of them will actually sell to third parties like pet shops, but mostly this is with animal mills. Disreputable breeders often sell their kits via online, so on their website, Facebook, Craigslist. Ferrets are not allowed to be returned back to that animal producer because either sometimes they will travel all over the country, they can't take those ferrets back. And also, many disreputable breeders don't even have a contract set in place, so they don't legally have to take back your animal. More ferrets are being produced to make up for the ones that are sold, so they simply just don't have enough room to keep taking back ferrets. Ferrets don't live in the home. This is relevant for both animal mills and private run animal producers. This is due to the sheer number of ferrets that are being maintained and produced. Many produce ferrets all year round, which is just cruel and unnatural. And again, this next one is huge. Will not allow people to come visit, and because they can't. If they were to allow people to come, they would see these conditions and they would possibly get in trouble for it.
Legislation would require dogs have solid flooring and access to the outside to exercise. But Ezekiel says that's unnecessary, and then he shows us why.
So tell us what's going on here.
What she's doing is she's running. She's getting her exercise.
Why not just have them run around outside?
Because it's dangerous.
Animal mills and private producers that are disreputable do not openly share photos, videos, sometimes not even photos of the parent ferrets, or just anything regarding their operation. There's a reason why we don't have practically any inside photos or video of ferret mills. I mean, we do have a couple clips thanks to an inside investigation of one, but outside of that, we really don't have anything, and there's a reason for that. Animal producers will often sell their kits super young, 8 weeks. These ferrets are ripped from their moms, mutilated, neutered, spayed much too early, and they do this again because they just have so many kits and they're doing it for profit, so the quicker that they can sell these animals, the better. Will not provide any documentation of the ferret's background, sometimes won't even give you vet records because they don't have any. Does not screen potential owners because they don't care. They are not going to be taking this kit back. They don't care where this kit ends up. They don't care about the breeding process at all, so why would they care about where their animal goes to? Oh yeah, and I also wanted to bring up, because I forgot while typing up my script for this video, big animal mills will actually have a 1-year health guarantee for their kits. Like if you were to go to a pet store and get a ferret, those pet stores will take back the ferrets if you can't keep them for any reason. But again, this video is focusing more on disreputable breeders, private breeders, rather than animal mills, because I've already talked about that in great detail in other videos. These animal producers will descent their ferrets. Sometimes they won't, but most of them will. This is used as a marketing ploy to sell even more ferrets because they can actually market them as descented, not have kits vetted or not vetted fully. They may only do the bare minimum, might not even provide you with documentation of this. This is one of the reasons why you need to bring a mill-bred ferret or a backyard-bred ferret to the vet immediately when you get home with them. The does not have spay or neuter requirements isn't super relevant for ferrets, but I wanted to include it anyways because it is still possible. Clearly, these backyard breeders had to get their breeding stocks somehow. Goes into the next tip, which is spays and neuters their ferrets, which is on this list because these producers often sell their ferrets 8 weeks and even younger than that, and they're already fixed by that time, so you already know that that's not great. Some may also have you pay in full before even meeting the kit or the breeder, which is actually a huge indicator of a scam, which we'll talk more about later in this video, but some disreputable breeders also do this. Do not buy sight unseen. This goes for pretty much anything, especially animals that you're going to be having for a good chunk of your life are going to be feeding low quality food, often things like Meow Mix, grocery store brand cat food, dog food, because they want to keep costs low and make as much profit as they can. In summary, your biggest indicators are going to be no pictures of the operation, they do not allow visitors, and no application. I wanted to include this conversation that someone had recently with a backyard breeder, and they were nice enough to donate it for this video. So they said, "Thank you so much for your quick reply. Do you allow people to come see where you keep the ferrets and meet the parents? I'm also curious what age you spay and neuter them and how old they are when you allow people to take them home." The animal producer says, "Nope, no visitors. They go to new homes around 8 weeks. Usually the vet alters them around 5 to 6 weeks." So straight right off the bat, they do not allow visitors. Huge red flag. They also alter them at 5 to 6 weeks old. That is so young. That is about as young as what the massive animal mills do. Sometimes even younger than that, we don't really know. The interested buyer had a really nice message. Ask the questions, the important questions that you should ask if you're about to get an animal. The no longer interested buyer says, thank you for your answers. Unfortunately, I don't feel comfortable purchasing a ferret without seeing where they come from to ensure that they are given the best care possible. Have a great night. So this message is really well written, and it shows that this person is very responsible with their animals. And the animal producer replies back, you will never find one then. We are the only people in Western Canada with intact ferrets. I'm willing to go to Eastern Canada if it means finding a healthy ferret from a breeder that I trust. Thank you for your concern. So I think a lot of this is common sense, but you would be surprised on the amount of people that are tricked by backyard breeders, scammers, because they don't know what to watch out for. They aren't really well versed in the animal community and the breeder community, so they don't know what to look out for. Do your research, and if you're ever unsure, feel free to reach out to those that you trust and go through the list that I included earlier in the video to see if there are any red flags. On to scammers. I wanted to briefly touch on this because a lot of them have been popping up recently on Instagram, Facebook, and Craigslist. Many of these people demand payment up front with apps like Cash App or Bitcoin. Claims they will ship wherever you live. Very suspicious, but you'd be surprised on how many people get caught up with them. Here's a good example of a scam that I found recently on Craigslist. Your first red flag is reputable breeders do not sell via Craigslist. When messaged, this is the conversation. This was done for the purposes of education and was also donated for this video. The person said, are the ferrets available? And they replied with, greetings, I quite appreciated your interest in adopting my ferrets. I still have 2 left, 1 male and 1 female, but the question is that will the ferrets be able to find a lovely home with you? Do you have enough time to spend with the kittens and care for them? If so, I will be very glad and happy to give out the ferret to you, asking $200 for each. Okay, I will take both. Are they fixed? Yes, they are fixed. I have a dog crate for them and will feed them Meow Mix cat food. I heard it is the healthiest they can have. I have never had a ferret before, but I have seen a lot of videos. Where are you located? Do you deliver or should I drive to you? Obviously, the person who messaged the scammer doesn't actually do any of these things, but for the purposes of education, they said those things. The person said, I'm presently in Richmond, Virginia, and if you can promise me that the baby will be well loved and taken care of, I'm asking a rehome fee of $200 for each my just to meet up expensive cost. We welcome families interested in our babies to pick them up. If a family is to pick up the ferret, we turn to arrange If a family is to pick the ferret, we turn to arrange for the ferret's delivery. You are free to visit us if you choose to, or if you cannot make it, the ferret will be delivered to you in the best of conditions. So this, to many people who are not well versed in animals, think that it's real, that it's, this person is trusting me. They're saying that all I need to provide is a good, loving home. I don't need to do an adoption application. They can have it delivered to me. I can go pick up the ferret. If you go on the list, it says will allow people to visit the place where the ferrets are being raised, and this person is allowing that, so it does look pretty good. Person says, okay, how old are they? What is the payment in the form of? They're 8 weeks old. Where are you located? We accept Cash App. Okay, do I pay now or when I get there? You pay now, so I prepare the pets. When will you come? Tomorrow. Okay, let me send you my Cash App to pay. A lot of these scammers are also on Instagram and Facebook using other people's photos, saying that they are for sale, which is just another kind of messed up. So if you do see this happening, make sure to report it to whatever platform you find it on. Number one takeaway that I want people to have from watching my videos and just my channel as a whole is be mindful where you are getting your ferrets from, because it really does matter. I know it may not seem like it. I know you really want that sable boy at the pet store or that Angora ferret on Craigslist. And I also just wanted to throw this in there. I hope it doesn't make me sound angry or anything, but it really irks me to see the amount of people who are so passionate about movements such as veganism, sustainability, but when it comes to pet mills and pet shop animals, they just turn a blind eye. They pretend it doesn't exist. I understand that I can't convince everyone, but it's more of what you're supporting, what your money is going towards. It's the same with veganism. You don't want to have your money go towards factory farms. I do believe, though, that most bad breeders started with good intentions. Maybe the money got to their head. They began pumping out more and more animals, found out the corners that they could cut to make even more money. And if you want to learn more about pet mills, check out my channel and our ferret advocacy group, the Ferret Freedom Fighters, on Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It is extremely important to me. Thank you to all of our members on this channel for making this video possible, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.